What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Black, your internet, relationship, and breakup coach. Today's topic: this is the exact moment that your ex finally starts to miss you. See, the thing about human beings is that we tend to form bonds and attachment with the people that we love and those that love us. And these attachments are evident even as early as childhood. See, a child is going to form an attachment and a bond with their parents or their caregivers between the critical ages of around 0 to 2 years old. Now, these attachments are the basis for the future connections that we will form in our romantic relationships. And this is what people call attachment styles. We'll talk about that in another video. In this video, we want to focus on how this affects your ex, and when this finally gets them to a point that they miss you and they are doing things to help fix the relationship. So pay attention and stick around. See, here's a scientific phenomenon known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay? Maslow's hierarchy of needs is basically a pyramid that was created by a scientist named Maslow, obviously, okay, that goes over 5 needs that we all have as human beings. Now, starting from the base of the pyramid is the most important, which is the physiological needs. This is food, water, sex, okay? These things are very critical and essential to our survival. And most of us couldn't do without these things for even a day, worse off 2, 3, 4 days. This is extremely important to us. Now, above that, we have our safety needs. This has to do with security, shelter, okay? This is just making sure that we're safe and secure. Again, this is part of our basic needs, very critical to most of us as human beings. Now, above that, we have belonging and love, okay? Above that, we have self-esteem. And at the very top of the pyramid, we have self-actualization. So if you've never heard about this, I'm going to drop a link in the description so you can take a look for yourself. See, here's the thing that when people talk about attachments is that they don't realize that when you bond and attach to someone, they eventually become your security, right? It's a safe and secure place for you. So it goes above just the need for love that we all have as human beings. When you're attached to someone, you're attached to the effort that they provide, you're attached to the consistency, you're attached to them as a person. This also triggers that layer of security that we all have, that is an innate need that is essential for our survival. See, here's the thing though about human nature is that we tend to get complacent. Okay, we get used to things and eventually we start to take those things and people in some cases for granted. Think about our most essential need, right? The very bottom of the pyramid, our physiological needs. Most of us don't spend our days thinking about how important food is to us or how important water is to us, because if you're watching this video, you probably live in a country where you have easy access to those things. So it's easy to start to take that for granted and not appreciate it. But I promise you, if those things were removed from your life, eventually you will notice the absence, obviously, a lot quicker than the rest of our needs, and you will do anything possible to get those needs met. Now, right above physiological is safety, and this is where your attachment with your ex comes into place. It is extremely critical and important, far above love and belonging. Okay, when you are your ex's safe place, let me just say this, not everyone got to a place where they form that strong attachment with their ex. So this is not going to apply to 100% of people in relationships. You know the type of relationship that you had with your ex. Was it toxic? Was there a lot of fighting? Was there even any level of safety between the both of you? Because if those things didn't exist, it's very difficult to form the attachments necessary. And also, if you were in a short-term relationship and you didn't really have the time to secure the foundation and really strengthen the bond, it's hard to get to this level with your ex. But again, when you have this deep connection with your ex, it becomes a basic need that they secure the relationship with you. Now remember, we talked about complacency. Okay, if you've been chasing your ex and you've been doing everything for them and they got to a place where they started to take you for granted, sometimes they will forget about the vital role that you've played in their life, especially if you were together for a long amount of time. Okay, so when they break up with you and they left, they still feel some sense of safety and security because in their mind, they still have access to you. They still have access to the relationship. It's kind of like the water that we talked about. If it's in abundance, we're not really thinking about where is my next cup of water going to come from. Now, when you take away your attention and you go completely no contact and you actually stick with it, you leave your ex alone, you give them space. Okay, you respect yourself, you focus on your goals and your dreams, and you do not reach out to them no matter what. Eventually, okay, the basis of that attachment, and remember, this is something that we have been conditioned to do even as early as childhood. So your ex does have an attachment to you, and they will only get triggered and remember the closeness and the intimacy after you have taken away that closeness by going no contact. Here's the other kicker. But first, let me say this. If you're still here, please go ahead and like this video. I appreciate you for doing so. It costs you nothing and it really does help the channel out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos like this. So here's the other thing. The human mind has evolved and been conditioned to help keep you safe. That is the primary motive. Okay, your mind doesn't care about your happiness. Okay, happiness is a plus, but it really doesn't care. Okay, our lizard brain is conditioned to look and watch for danger, and if there's any danger, you're going to be triggered and you're going to have to take action to solve that issue. It's kind of like the fight or flight that's innate to every single human being. So your ex is no different. So when you take away one of your ex's core needs, which is safety and security, okay, that fight or flight instinct is going to be triggered in them. And like I said, especially if you had a strong attachment at some point. Your ex may have forgotten about it. They might be taking you for granted in the present moment, but that is okay. Relax. Okay. Now this fight or flight instinct is going to be triggered. Okay. And this is not about happiness. Your ex is going to have that strong desire to reach out to you so that they can numb the pain, right? They can take away that frustration. This is why no contact is very effective. You get to test that attachment and see how close you and your ex really were, because in a lot of cases, your ex will be triggered and they will do something to fix the situation, provided you stay away. Now, the catch with no contact is that it applies both ways. So you will also feel some pain when you're doing no contact. It is a difficult thing to do. But if your ex walked away, the only way that they will remember how essential you are to their life, the only way they will remember how important the relationship is to them is if you take it away. You got to shut the water off. Okay, if someone stops paying the water bill, but the water is still coming in, they're not going to care. They're not going to take any action. And water is essential. It's critical. So until you shut the water off, until you go ghost, until you disappear, your ex will continue to take you for granted. So when they really feel the loss, when they actually can feel, they turn on the faucet and there's no more water, that is when they will finally start to miss you. And I promise you, they will do something to fix it, because internally, okay? This is an essential need for them. We've been conditioned that way since birth. So all you have to do is wait for them to reach out to you. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, comments, or concerns, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your point of view. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, the quickest way to do so is to click the first link in the description and you can book a coaching call and we could talk about your situation. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future videos that I put out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.